start the bottom half of the first inning. That'll bring up Aiden Blake. He'll be doing the designated hitting tonight. Digs into the right-hand batter's box. Well, apologies for the technical delay as we are back here inside Dunn Field as Matt Granado sent a ground ball over to Harrison Campy to lead off the bottom half of the first inning. So one away for the Pioneers is a high fly ball sending Roldan back, chasing, looking, and off the top of the fence, it does not go over. And Blake was into second base with a stand-up double right off the top of the right field wall. As we said, that ball has to go over the double fence. That is a 20-foot high wall, and he caught the very tippy top of it. So the Doubledays catch a break here in the bottom half of the first inning, and that will bring up John Schroeder with an opportunity to bring in a run. It was a high fly ball. That was just carrying and carrying and carrying. Roldan was waiting, and he saw it was going to probably hit off the top of the wall or go over. Instead, it just nicked off the very tippy top, and it bounced right back in. So just a couple of inches away from a home run to begin the ballgame as a swinging a foul ball off the foot of Schroeder as he walks himself back to home plate. Danny Luck gets the ball back, and he'll give a second as you got to wait for the runner and Blake to retreat back to the bag. Danny Luck rubs up the baseball, swipes the rubber, looks across at the runners at second. Infield shifting a little more pull side as Bryce Moore, the third baseman, hugging the third base line a little more. Harrison Campy off the bag at second. He was well in the 6-hole. Brody working the runner at second as the 0-1 misses out and away for ball 1, 1-1. So if you're just joining us here on the live stream, had a little bit of technical difficulties getting the live stream back up and rolling as Danny Luck works a runner at second with one away as a fastball misses off the plate and away for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Auburn had Roldan hit a base hit to left center field and stole second. He was left stranded there. So here we are, bottom of the first inning, one away, runner at second. Danny Luck looks in as a fastball misses upstairs for ball 3, 3-1 to the 3-hitter for Elmira. 73 degrees at first pitch. Sun just shining over as a little bit of shade cuts the home plate mound in half. So just a little bit of shadows to work with here as the 3-1 pitch is a fastball that just scrapes the outer edge for a called strike 2. Count runs full at 3-2 on Schroeder. We're talking to Alex, the broadcaster for Elmira. A couple of interesting days over the course of this week. Of course, the smoke came in and stopped a lot of play as the 3-2 pitch is a swung on a high pop-up. A lot of foul territory for Walker to work with. He glides over, and he's there to make the catch, run the ball back in, pop out to the first baseman, and now there are 2 away for Elmira. That will bring up Ray Hernandez. Well, as we mentioned, broadcaster for Elmira, he said that it's just been a tough weather scene. All that smoke coming in from Canada, and then a lot of rain has been drenching the field here inside Dunn Field. Ground play is a little bit softer. Talking to some of the infielders today during their ground ball work, it's a lot slower grass than they're used to seeing. And, of course, you have the turf over at Falcon Park, so anything is a little bit slower than there. As the first pitch from Danny Luck is a foul ball sent over the Doubledays dugout and headed for the team bus. No balls and a strike. 2 away for Elmira here in the bottom half of the first inning. Matt Granado led things off. Ground out to Harrison Campy at short. Blake stands at second base after a ringing double off the top of the wall. And then Schroeder popped out to first base. 0-1 from Danny Luck is a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1, 1-1. Infield shifted more to the right side. Riley Brody, he's got his heels over on the grass. Hal Walker Jr. playing as deep as he can over at first base. Campy a little bit shaded up the middle, and Bryce Moore working in. Pitch is swinging a high pop-up. Campy going out, running out of room, but he's there to make the catch. And that will retire the side. Both teams get a runner at second base in the first inning, but that is where we stay at. It's the Doubledays nothing and the Pioneers nothing as you're listening to Doubledays Baseball on the Auburn Doubledays Radio Network. And welcome back to Dunn Field as the Pioneers are wrapping up their infield warm-ups as it'll be A.J. Wenrich, Hal Walker Jr., and Jake Bolin, 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Doubledays. Here in the top half of inning number 2 as here comes A.J. Wenrich striding to the plate. My pick to click tonight. It was James Mason talking to him in the batting cages before the game, said, if someone's going to go deep tonight, it is Wenrich. So he'll have a couple of at-bats to help prove us right as the first pitch slider skips in for ball 1, 1-0. Wenrich getting himself back in the lineup, 1 for his last 8 so far, 3 strikeouts. Still hits the ball harder than most here on this Doubledays lineup as maybe another slider catches the outer edge, maybe a little off. Wenrich, a little shake of the head. He digs himself back in. Zintil, the pitcher, working from the first base side of the rubber. Arms extended from the stretch. As another slider wipes out Wenrich. He kicks a hack at it and now is down to a ball and 2 strikes. So the rest of the field, despite home plate, out in the sunshine still as the sun sets behind the first base side of the field. As the 1-2 pitch goes a slider down low for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Plenty of room, it seems like, to hit in this ballpark, even though when you look overhead, it looks like it's one of the more smaller outfields. You have to get back to field level to see how deep this ballpark runs as a 2-2 foul ball sent over our heads and into the parking lot out behind us. Steady temperature, 73 degrees. Wind now starting to calm itself. We've seen it blow it out a little bit as the flag planted right behind the tall center field wall. It is not in motion for now. Wenrich set in the box. Zintel set on the rubber. The 2-2 pitch is a fastball that wipes out for ball 3, 3-2. And Wenrich has worked a 1-2 count all the way to full. Hal Walker Jr. from Hiram College awaits on deck. Looking for a base runner. Until he comes set. And the 3-2 pitch is a squibber of a foul ball as it will roll towards the Elmira dugout on the first base side. And the count still sits at full. Good crowd on hand like we mentioned earlier, Saturday night. Doubledays will like to see everyone in Auburn back at home on Sunday tomorrow. That'll be a 4:05 start time. 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball over the short. Fadio's got it on the short hop. Sends a long throw, and Wenrich hustling down the line, just beaten by a step. And one away, that will bring up Hal Walker Jr. Still 0-0 our score. Auburn got a single from Tyler Roldan. He worked all the way to second on a stolen base. He was stranded there. On the other side, it was Aiden Blake who sent a ringing double off the tippy top of the right field wall. He was stranded at second by the Pioneers. So both teams have left a runner in scoring position in the early going as a first pitch fastball skips across the dirt for ball 1, 1-0. Zintel back on the mound. He's ready as the 1-0. That fastball also misses the outside edge. 2-0, and now Walker has a golden opportunity to get the offense started for the Doubledays early. He's It's 1 for 3 so far in his Doubledays career. Works a walk as well. 2-0 pitch. Swan, a ground ball, little lazy ground ball to Montagano. High throw. Oh, it's higher Walker, and there's 2 away now for Jake Bolin. Couple of quick ground outs. Bring up the Villanova catcher. Walker collects the bat and breaks his way back to the third base dugout. A lot of foul territory here inside Dunfield. A little bit more than Falcon Park, as the retaining wall pretty much keeps everything closed as well. Tight ballpark, as a slider misses down low for ball 1, 1-0. So a lot of room to work with behind home plate, as maybe some extra bases might come on some wild pitches. So both catchers are going to have to be cautious with runners on, as Bolin sends a ground ball over to second, a 53 hopper to Presto. He's got it, sends the throw over to first base. Siebstrinski to retire Bolin. 1, 2, 3 go the Doubledays here in the top half of the second inning. Our score, Auburn nothing and Elmira nothing. We'll be back here on the Doubledays Radio Network. And we're back here at Municipal Stadium as the Doubledays currently taking on the Elmira Pioneers. 0-0 our score as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Weston Gingrich, Blaze Fadio, and Cooper Smith, 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Pioneers in order, as they will face against Jake Danila going out for another inning of work. So Weston Gingrich, the left-hander, digs in. He'll be facing Danny Luck, the left-hander, as well. As the first pitch is a slider that wipes out Gingrich. Bolin had to just knock it down with his glove, able to keep it in front of him, send the throw back to the mound. 0-1 the count. Healthy crowd, as we keep mentioning, on hand Saturday. A couple of fans still making their way into their seats as a fastball runs inside and clips the elbow of Gingrich. So leadoff hit by a pitch will put a runner at first base. Nobody out for Blaze Fadio, the shortstop. Well, Fadio went 2 for 3 against the Doubledays back on Sunday in that wonky 8-18 victory for Auburn. This is their first victory at home of the season. The Doubledays looking to go 2-0 on the road. This is their second home game of the summer, as a first pitch swinging from Fadio. He comes up well empty. Took a really good healthy hack. 0-1 the count. Hal Walker Jr. holding the runner on at first. Brody and Campy a little bit more pinched up the middle, with Moore off the bag at third, as a fastball misses well outside. Almost a modified pitch out, if you will. Taken for ball 1. Gentle breeze now starting to go right to left here inside Dunfield. As Danny comes set, he takes a look in at the runner. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a good slider that catches the heart of the plate for a ball and 2 strikes now. Ball and 2 strikes. Runner walks off the bag at first as a swing and a miss. Healthy slider gets cut on and missed by Fadio. Swinging strikeout. First one of the ball game for Danny Luck. One away for Cooper Smith. Smith takes a long walk around the catcher and the home plate umpire. Digs himself into the right-hand batter's box. A couple of signs get sent over as the manager for Elmira. Lights have yet to be turned on here in the ballpark. Still using the natural light as a swing. A ground ball past the outstretched diving glove of Moore into left field. Up with the ball is Mason. The throw into third gets cut off by Campy, and runners at second and third with 1 out. A double down the third baseline by Cooper Smith, and that'll bring up Griffin Yastrzemski. So runners in scoring position for the second straight inning for Elmira. Danyluk's going to have to work out of a mini jam. So he will work out of the stretch still from the third base side of the rubber with the left-hander up. Infield stays back for the Doubledays, except for Hal Walker Jr. and Bryce Moore. They're more at corners in as the first pitch is a slider that misses upstairs for ball 1, 1-0. Well, for Auburn, keep these guys off the board. Send a little bit of a message that you're able to withstand some pressure. Danyluk cups one and lashed down the right field line. That's going to head straight to the fencing in foul territory. And the count will even up at 1-1. Sends a toss high over the fence for a fan down the right field line. Retreats back to his position as he's really playing that line. Gap in right center field, playing a little more open, but you do have a lot of good speed from the center field and right field for the Doubledays. Christian Bauman can cover a lot of ground. We've seen Hitter misses outside for ball 2, 2-1 now. Two balls, 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 coming from Danyluk. A swing and a miss at the slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Yastrzemski, the left-hander, digging himself in. Runners at second and third, still 1 away. Danyluk would look like a really good strikeout right here. I'll bring up Dom Presto. He's due up next. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners second and third take their lead. As pitch on the way, check swing on the slider. Yes, he goes around, says the home plate umpire. Second strikeout of the game, a big one, as Yastrzemski has a little bit of a gripe walking back to the dugout, asking for the field umpire for an opinion. Home plate umpire says, nope, it's all me tonight. Takes a long walk back to the bench on the first base side, and that will bring up Dom Presto. Second strikeout of the game so far for Danyluk, and that will bring the right-hander into bat. Second baseman for Elmira tonight. Danyluk now just needs 1 more pitch to get himself out of this jam early. Second and third, runners take their lead. Danyluk's first pitch, swing a jam shot right to Brody. He's got it. Ball finds him quickly to retire this side. Well, Elmira puts a little pressure on, hit by a pitch and a double. Everyone stays stranded. Danyluk able to work out of the early jam as Andrew Drum has a little conversation with the home plate umpire on the check swing. We'll go back here and take another break here on the Doubledays Radio Network. The Doubledays nothing and Elmira nothing going to the top half of the third. And well, we're picking things up here in the top half of the third inning. The Doubledays looking at a 0 in the run column still, as Bryce Moore, James Mason, and Riley Brody, 8, 9, and 10, due up for Auburn here this inning. As Bryce Moore digs himself into the third base, or rather the right-hand batter's box. He's ready to go. As Max Intel still out there once again, as a first pitch fastball dots the knees for a called strike one. No balls and a strike to the Doubledays hot corner. Moore looking for his first hit still as a Doubleday. Went 0 for 3 in the opener, as the 0-1 pitch is a slider that wipes out off the plate away for ball 1, 1-0. Some sun still playing a factor here. Shadows just about to cover the whole mound entirely, as it's still cutting the mound in half. 1-1 pitch on the way. Slider, a little bit of a busted bat. Shallow fly ball dropping in, and Cooper Smith is there to catch it right at about hip level. And there's one away for the Doubledays here in the top half of the third inning. And that will bring up James Mason out of Clarkson. 1 for 3 in this one, or rather 1 for 3 in his Doubledays career so far. A walk and 2 runs scored. The utility player got his start over at third base a couple of nights ago and is now going to be patrolling the left field, as first pitch fastball is a little generous off the outside corner for a called strike one. No balls and a strike on Mason. Sun piercing in from the first base side, having the left fielder Granado cover his eyes every time the pitch gets thrown. As now it's 0-2. Again, another fastball catches the outer edge. Mason's down in a quick hole. Zentel, he comes set, has 1 strikeout on the evening so far. As the 0-2 pitch, Swan, a ground ball right back up the middle for a base hit. Kicks off the rubber, and it rolls into center field. So James Mason collects his second hit as a Doubleday. And a 1-out base runner will bring up Riley Brody. Well, for Brody, this is his first at-bat as a Doubleday with the Ithaca Bombers. He had one good season, batted .314 with a .923 OPS, 58 hits, 13 doubles, 3 triples, 95 walks. My goodness. Talk about someone who knows the strike zone. As a first pitch fastball popped up into right center field. Gliding over is Smith on the glove side. He's there to make the catch, and that will put 2 away as the Doubledays flip the order right back to the top for Harrison Campy. Harrison Campy 0 for 1 in this one. A ground out to the third baseman, Montagno, his first time up. The Woodford commit steps in. Wide stance in the third on the right-hand batter's box. Couple of peeks from the pitcher, Zentel, at Mason, as a first pitch fastball misses upstairs for ball 1, 1-0. Mason with the oven mitt on at first base. He takes his lead, short lead, as a slider misses outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to the Doubledays leadoff man. Let's see what Campy can do here. Hit 11 triples in his high school career for the Christian Brothers Academy. Set a school record. As the 2-0 pitch is a fastball that one catches the outside corner. Looks like maybe a ball off the plate gets called for a strike. 2-1 now. As long as that's a common theme all day, totally fine with that. Mason lead over at first base, wide open 4-hole. Comes set is Zentel. Here's the pitch, slider that misses well off the plate away for ball 3, 3-1, and Campy's got himself a good hitter's count. See what you can do to maybe work something to get Tommy Roldan a chance to hit with a runner in scoring position. He's 1 for 1 in this one so far. Mason with a short lead over at first base. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Campy set in the box. Little pause. The 3-1 pitch is swung and fouled out of play, well beyond the right side of the field. Takes a bite out of the roof before rolling down to the concourse below. Everything's full at 3-2 with 2 outs. So Mason, the runner at first, he will get a head start. Anything in the gap, maybe you'll see Julian giving the wave on, testing his speed. Healthy lead over at first base as well. Open right side of the infield with the runner being held on. Couple pauses. Here's the 3-2. The runner goes swinging a high pop-up. Shallow right field. Going over is Smith towards the line. He glides over to make the catch. And Campy is retired as well as the Doubledays. Well, James Mason gets a base hit, but he is left stranded at first. We now go to the bottom half of the third inning. We're still looking at zeros in the run column for both the Pioneers and the Doubledays. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Radio Network. And picking things up here in the bottom half of the third inning as Jake Danieluk getting his last few warm-up throws here of the inning. Doubledays have been able to get some guys on base, just haven't been able to work them around fully. And the Pioneers have also done that as well. They've had more runners in scoring position so far. Danieluk has been able to work out of a couple of tough jams already. There's a ball hit off the very top of the wall by Aiden Blake, and that any more juice on it, and we're probably looking at a 1-0 ball game. As Nick Montagna digs into the right-hand batter's box. As Danieluk from the left side, he gets his sign from Bolin, comes set. Couple looks in. Here's the first pitch as a fastball swung and popped up. A lot of room on the infield, but this one is going to find the top of the roof again. Keeps the Patriots safe from down below. First pitch, no balls, 1 strike. Leading off here in the bottom half of the third inning. Both teams a couple of hits in this one so far. Both teams with 2. Danieluk takes a look into Bolin. Gets his sign and delivers a fastball that dots the outside corner for a called strike 2. It's not even as far out as it will go. We've seen maybe a ball or a ball and a half out is probably the limit here tonight. Danieluk comes set. Still pitching from the sunshine as the 0-2 pitch is in the dirt, picked by Bolin. Ball and 2 strikes now. As mentioned, it might be a little bit tougher for guys on the left side of the infield and James Mason out in left field to worry about the sun still setting behind the dugout in the first base side. Danieluk sets, looks in. Pitch on the way, swinging a foul ball over that first base side once again into the crowd. Ball and 2 strikes. Doubledays nothing, Elmira nothing. As we play in here in the bottom of the third inning. The 1-2 pitch is a slider that's popped up. Another foul ball, maybe room for Bolin. He's coming in. Ball spinning back in. Takes a big hop on the main concourse. As we'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. And we noticed from both of these ball clubs back on Sunday, a lot of lengthy at-bats, a lot of foul balls. Luckily for Elmira, they have a pretty large net behind the plate, but then you get that wall cutting off, and fans are right in the action. There's a 1-2 pitch is sent in the air out to right field. Roldan giving a chase. Just can't get that one as it bangs off the tarp down the right field line. And we'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Lots of baseball to be played here this summer, as there's a lot of baseball to be played during the college stretch for Omaha. The race for the national title still going on as all the super regional games are either in progress or completing, as a fastball runs upstairs for a swinging strike 3. Third strikeout of the day so far for Danieluk. And 1 is gone as the order flips back to the top for Matt Granato. 0 for 1 in this one. A ground out to Campy to lead off the bottom half of the first inning. As Danieluk takes his time before getting back in onto the rubber. Granado taking his time, certainly digging into the right-hand batter's box. Both batter and pitcher are set. First pitch, fastball lashed in the air to left field, well over the head of Mason. He's going to have to field this one as it rattles up against the base of the wall and into second base. Standing with a double is Matt Granado. And another runner in scoring position here for Elmira. That is their third double this game, third inning in a row as well. As that will bring up Aiden Blake. Well, Aiden Blake, he had a double of his own. We were talking about it earlier. Banged off the tippy top of the wall out in right field. What's more impressive is he's a right-handed batter going opposite field, putting a ball maybe about 350 or so feet, as well as the top of the wall to deal with, as a first pitch slider misses the outside corner for ball 1-0. And we've seen Danyluk so far pitch himself out of some jams early. Has to work out of another one here. Granado takes his lead over at second base. Healthy one. Roddy, the second baseman, working him back. As another slider. That one misses downstairs for ball 2-0. You do have a base open if you want to walk him to put the double play back in order. John Schroeder batting third for Elmira. He would be due up next, the catcher. Danyluk comes set, takes a look over at second base. Both middle infielders working the runner. Couple of looks in. Here's the 2-0. That fastball catches the outside corner, maybe a little high. As Blake has a little second look as he takes a look at his bat. Fixes the batting helmet. A couple of ticks of the shoe tops. Digs himself back in. Points the bat straight up in the sky. Rocks it back and forth on the shoulder. 2-1. That looks like maybe a slider catches the inside corner. Could have been a split finger as well. Count evens up at 2, and maybe a couple of generous calls from the home plate umpire has evened up the count and maybe taken the bat out of Blake's hands so far. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away for Elmira. Danyluk looks at second. Long pause. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Couple of words of parting ways from Blake to the home plate umpire. 4th strikeout of the game for Danyluk. He's cruising so far despite a couple of loud hits. 2 away. That will bring up John Schroeder. Well, that will send the third baseman Bryce Moore hugging the line over at third base. As the first pitch is fouled back to the screen. A couple of fans brought their gloves trying to get any baseballs that might squirt away. No balls and a strike to the Elmira 3-hitter. No railing for either team to rest on, so they have to stand pretty much on the front of the dugout as Christian Bauman takes a step back on a deep fly out to center field. Puts a squeeze on it to retire this side. Elmira gets another double, but leaves him stranded at second. We go to the 4th inning. Still 0-0s on the scoreboard. You're listening to baseball on the Doubledays Radio Network. And picking things up here in the top half of the fourth inning, Tommy Roldan digs himself into the left-hand batter's box. He's ready to roll. As the first pitch coming from Max Zintel is a ground ball over to first base, takes a candy hop right to the chest of Griffin Yastrzemski, and he'll walk it himself to the bag. One retired on a first pitch swinging. Tommy Roldan ground out. One away. That will bring up Bobby Stang. Let's take a look at some scores across the rest of the league here, as this game is so far in the top half of the fourth inning. As it's in the bottom of the third inning out in Jamestown. Currently the Tarp Skunks leading the Red Wings 3-2. As the first pitch slider misses off the plate away for ball one on Bobby Stang. As Batavia Muck Dogs currently beating the Buffalo Diesel 4-0. That one's an exhibition game at Dwyer Stadium, as a slider misses outside for ball two, 2-0 on Bobby Stang. And this game obviously in action, top fourth inning, 0-0 our score. The rest of the league is playing on the east side, as a fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike one at 2-1 on Bobby Stang, the catcher, rather designated hitter tonight. Getting a break from doing the catching, as he's earned it. Had been playing a really good game behind the plate, as a slider misses the inside corner off the plate by Zintel, and once again Stang finds himself in a good hitter's count at 3-1. Stang set, high stance, as the bat resting straight on the shoulder, as the 3-1 pitch is a slider that gets wiped out. Now he's got a battle from 3-2 now, as he will take a step out, adjust the batting gloves, grab some extra pine tar up towards the barrel of the bat. He comes set back in the right-hand batter's box, a little wave of the twirl of the bat. Zintel, the right-hander, ready. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way, and that fastball misses off the plate for ball four. So that time it's not a called strike three, as Bobby Stang takes the walk over to first base, hands the batting gloves to Jersey, where he's from. Stang with a lead over at first base. One away for the Doubledays. Infield, a little more on the pull side, still staying in double play depth, as first pitch swinging and missing, as Bauman can't come up with anything on a good off-speed pitch off the outer out. No balls and a strike. Shadows now starting to creep away as that sun's still setting. Lights have yet to be turned on. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. A good slider down below the zone. Gets Bauman swinging. And the count goes to a ball and two strikes. Rather, no balls and two strikes. Beg your pardon. Staying with the lead over at first base. A healthy one at that. Bauman ready. Bat point straight up to the heavens. Long pause. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another good slider. And Bauman, just with a wave of one hand, comes up empty. And Bauman will take the long walk back to the third base dugout. 2 away. Now bring up A.J. Wenrich. Second strikeout of the game so far for Zintil. As a throw over, Bobby Stang works himself back to the bag standing. Wenrich, tall, upright stance, waving a half-black natural bat back and forth as a slider catches the middle of the plate for a called strike one. Wind still staying calm. We saw it blowing out during batting practice, but now it's starting to live a little baby gust in from straightaway center field. As a ground ball hits a big Baltimore chop. A little tough play by the shortstop in Fadio, and sends a throw over to second base to Presto covering the bag. And that will retire the side here in the top half of the fourth inning. Doubledays work a walk, but that is all. Bobby Stang is cut down at second base to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left on for the Doubledays. We now go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Our score still 0-0 for both ball clubs. We'll be back here on the Doubledays Radio Network. Welcome back to Doubledays Baseball on the Doubledays Radio Network as we take a look at what's on tap tomorrow. Auburn Doubledays get their first look at the Newark Pilots. That'll be tomorrow, Sunday, June 11th. I'll be set for a 4:05 first pitch. We'll be on the air around 3:30. Come on down to the ballpark, grab your camera and grab your pens as it'll be Meet the Doubledays post-game on the field. So plenty of autographs to be had. The players are ready. They got their handwriting all nice and neat. Had a lot of practice so far for the first few home games as Jake Danny-Luck back on the mound as a high fly ball hit out to deep right field. Roldan giving chase. He's at the track, and right before he bangs into the right field wall, puts a squeeze on it for a loud out number one on Ray Hernandez. I was talking with the broadcaster for Elmira, Alex, again, and he was saying that it's just not a real big home run park, and as we've kind of had a feeling that that was going to be the case this year, despite the Doubledays having an ample amount of power to spare in their lineup. Just really tough fields to hit out of. Despite it being 325 down the lines, you have to still hit it about 20 feet high as first pitch swinging high, pop up down the right side. Bolin giving chase, running out of room towards the dugout as the ball bangs off the home clubhouse. No balls and a strike to Weston Gingrich, the center fielder. Reached on a hit by pitch his first time up. Got all the way around to third on the double by Cooper Smith, and he was left stranded 90 feet away from home plate. Danlick's been doing good out of jams so far today. No one getting loose for the Doubledays yet as a good slider catches the outer edge for a called strike two. Nothing in two on the leadoff batter here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Hernandez retired on the fly out. Gingrich and Fadio due up as the 0-2 pitch is a swing and a miss. Another good slider cut on and missed by Weston Gingrich. That is another strikeout, number 5 of the game. He's already matched his total back last Friday at Geneva. 2 away now, and that will bring up Blaze Fadio. He was the first strikeout victim in this one so far. So 2 quick outs by Doubledays pitching. Game starting to zip by once again. Yesterday, that was the case as well. And then we had a lengthy couple of innings in the middle parts when the offense started to get going for the Doubledays as the first pitch looks like a splitter misses the outer edge for ball 1, 1-0. As we always like for summer leagues, plenty of in-game promotions from Elmira, but it does seem to halt the infield warm-ups as a first pitch fastball misses the outer edge for ball 2, 2-0. Kids had to put on some baseball pants and a jersey and a helmet and try to run back from first base to second base in a little relay race. 2-0 as a fastball is waved at and missed from Fadio. Comes up empty on a big 2-0 hack. Count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, an interesting look at the bullpens for the field here at Dunn Field as a fastball misses outside for ball 3, 3-1. For the Doubledays, or rather the visitors in general, down the third baseline and deep into the left field corner, you'll have a on-field bullpen that has been pretty much erased from Major League Baseball entirely except for inside O.co. As a good splitter gets a swing and a miss, and the ball a little bit down and out of the plate for 3-2. For Elmira, their bullpen is out of the play entirely down the foul territory in right field. Here's the 3-2 pitch coming from Danny-Luck. Fastball just misses the inside corner. Danny-Luck with a punch of the glove. It looked like he had strike 3. That one just missed off the inner edge. So a 2-out walk will bring up Cooper Smith. As we mentioned about on-field bullpens, used to be more of a common theme back in the day, back when kind of had to use as much room as possible. Old ballpark history, if you anyway is in the Denver area, take a look at the Baseball History Museum right across the street from Coors Field as a foul ball sent over our heads out of play for swinging strike 1. Plenty of fun relics and just take you back in time. Some old seats from the old ballparks back in the day. couple of the current ones still standing. Short little tour. It's only a couple of rooms, but the exhibits are worth your visit as a line drive splits the gap. That's getting down. That could be trouble. Rounding second, heading for third is Fadio. He's going to get the wave on Brown's third, heading home. The throw will go into the cutoff man. And goodness me, that siren coming from the booth with a run scored. Goodness, hold on, my word. Some of the sound effects here puts a runner in scoring position and puts a runner crossing home plate for a 1-0 lead. And now Danny Luck certainly frustrated with that 3-2 fastball that just missed the inner edge. Back on Fadio. So Elmira takes a 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. So apologies for any of you fans who had your audio turned all the way up. It was going into my ears as well. So an RBI double, second one for Cooper Smith so far in this one, as a first pitch swinging back to the screen from Yastrzemski. Count goes to no balls and a strike. All right, now we have some warning for the next possible opportunity. Two-away runner at second base. Danny Luck works him back as Smith was taken off, as another foul ball sent back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. But a fun museum out in Denver, Colorado, if anyone ever gets a chance. Only $20 entry, but it is absolutely worth it to go, as the home plate umpire has to go scramble for the baseball behind the warning track of the infield. So a little pause in play. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner and Cooper Smith awaits at second base. They have a run in already. 1-0 our score. Danny Luck back on the rubber. Takes a look at Bolin. He comes set. Gets his sign with a nod. Smith dancing off the bag at second. Can't be working it back. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball sent foul down the first base side. And we'll try it again at no balls and 2 strikes. Danny Luck back on the rubber. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still no lights flicked on yet in the ballpark, as we're still relying on the natural sunlight piercing in from the first base side. That should be soon going away, so the lights will soon play out. Dancing over off the bag is Smith. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging a pop-up foul out of play. Giving a look at it is Moore. It's going to fall well out of play. Still nothing working in the bullpen for either side. All Doubledays and Pioneers players accounted for on their benches. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Smith, his lead over at second, can't be in the back pocket. Here's the pitch on the way, swinging a line drive into center field, right to the Gold Glover and Bauman. He's there to make the catch, and that will retire the side. Well, the Pioneers strike first. They get a 1 run on a double, as that is where we will stand here in the top half of the 5th inning. Pioneers up 1-0. You're listening to Doubledays Baseball on the Doubledays Radio Network. Well, the throwdown from John Schroeder means this inning is about to get underway. Elmira took a 1-0 lead in the bottom half of the inning, as Hal Walker Jr. will stride into the right-hand batter's box, getting some extra pine tar before giving a strong grip on the handle. Digs himself in. as Max Zintil still up on the mound for Elmira. Fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike one, 0-1 the count. Benji Reese has started to get the bullpen gear on, so it looks like we might have some action for the Doubledays in the bullpen as a slider misses well off the plate away for ball one, 1-1. Nothing doing in the Elmira bullpen as it's Max Zintel's game for the time being. Comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Walker. Swinging a ground ball over to shortstop. Fadio waits for the short hop. Low throw, but it's right to the chest of Yastrzemski on a hop. One away. And that will bring up Jake Bolin, the catcher. Bolin grounded out to second his first time up. He's 0 for 1. As the sun has now taken a second to hang behind the clouds, as well as the rolling hills behind us. Out in right field, still no lights yet. As the first pitch is popped straight up, spinning back, and spinning out of play over to the right of us. No balls and a strike on the Villanova catcher. Bolin takes a step out before walking himself back in. Digs his white cleats into the right-hand batter's box. Resting the bat on his shoulder as a slider catches the inner edge. A good one on the inside for a called strike 2. Bolin 2 for 4 in his Doubledays career so far. Just a couple of singles. That came back last Saturday versus Niagara. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A wipeout slider off the plate away. Gets Bolin hacking. And now there are 2 away on the second strikeout of the night so far for Zintil. 2 away. That will bring up Bryce Moore. Moore led off the bottom half of the second inning with a flyout. 0 for 1 as well. Doubledays only have 2 hits in this one so far. One from Tommy Roldan, the other come from James Mason as a swinging strike comes up empty. Moore looking to get the Doubledays offense started with 2 away. Mason, the hitter, due up next if it gets to him. Little pause is the 0-1. Swinging a foul back to the screen. And the Doubledays hitters find themselves once again in an 0-2 hole. We've seen that plenty of times so far today. Moore chokes up, moves up, takes away the inside corner. Zintel set. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way, swinging a poke foul ball down the right field line out of play. And so we'll try it again at 0-2. Zintel, he comes set at the chest. More rocking. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way, swinging another emergency hack. This one going to the first base coach's box for Logan Matson, keeping himself occupied over there. As for the Doubledays, a left-hander has started to get loose and throwing in the bullpen. Can't get quite an idea of who that is yet. We'll get you more information when we can. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch on the way. Slider misses well off the plate away. And it seems like almost the entire inside corner is caked in dirt. More rocking back and forth, bent at the knees. Max Zintil from the first base side of the rubber comes set. And the 1-2 pitch is poked in the air to left field, coming in, diving. And does he make the catch? Yes, he does, says the home plate umpire. And here comes Ben Julian out to have a discussion, as he looks like he thought Matt Granato might have trapped that ball. But regardless, it is an out called to retire the side. A good swing by Bryce Moore. He is sent packing back to the dugout. 1, 2, 3, go the Doubledays here in the top half of the 5th inning. Halfway through this one, Doubledays nothing and the Pioneers 1. You're listening to baseball on the Doubledays Radio Network. Well, it's been a pitching duel so far in this one as we enter the bottom half of the 5th inning. Currently, the Doubledays trail Elmira by a score of 1-0. That was thanks to an RBI double by Cooper Smith back in the 4th inning. As it will be 9, 10, and 1 due up for Elmira in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Left-hander Huxley Holcombe starting to get loose for the Doubledays, the left-hander in the bullpen. As Jake Danyluk back out for another inning of work. He's pitched well so far despite the double, and it might have been a strikeout the prior at-bat with a walk. So a tough break for Auburn as a first pitch fastball. That one was a little bit generous off the outside corner, taken for a called strike 1. 0-1 to Don Presto. He's 0 for 1, lined out back to second in the 2nd inning. Another fastball. That one maybe a little more off the plate away than the liking. Count evens up at 1. Good, healthy crowd still on hand here on a Saturday night in Elmira. The 1-1. Healthy breaking ball catches the outer edge for a called strike 2. And Danyluk still working a good one so far. 5 strikeouts in the game, looking for 6. That would put a season best so far. As the 1-2 pitch comes in the dirt, gets stopped by Bolin. Sends a throw back. Well, for Jake Bolin, out of New Windsor, New York, went to Newburgh Free Academy. For Danyluk, he got a nice little treat his freshman season. He got to pitch with his older brother Ryan, as pitches comebacker right to the glove of Danyluk, and he's going to take his time, flips over to Hal Walker Jr., and there's 1 away to begin matters here in the 5th. It's always nice to see siblings pitch with each other, especially at the high school level. You never know when that ever happens again. So for the Danyluks, it was a happy family the freshman year for Jake Danyluk, and then for his older brother Ryan, he was also a starting pitcher. As a fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike 1 to Nick Montagna. He's 0 for 1 as well. He was the 3rd strikeout victim so far. No balls and a strike. Danyluk back on the rubber. As the 0-1 is sent foul down the first base side, well out of play. Walker just gives it a look and sees it fly into what is to be the completed batting cage once the construction gets done there. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses the outside corner. Maybe even a splitter. Ball and 2 strikes, 1 away. Outfield playing straight up except for Tommy Roldan really hugging the right field line. Leaves that right center gap a little more open. Does have the arm strength to make up for it, though. Whole outfield has a pretty good arm. 1-2. Swinging a foul tip. Just could not hold on as Bolin off the tip of the glove. So we'll try it again. A ball and 2 strikes. Still getting loose in the bullpen for the Doubledays. Holcombe, hopefully we don't need to see him until next inning. This is the last one. As the pop-up into shallow right field, Roldan coming in and puts the squeeze on it chest high, sends a flip into second baseman Brody for out number 2 as the Doubledays play catch on the infield, and that will flip the order right back to the top for Matt Granado. Granado 1 for 2 in this one. Ground out to the shortstop Campy, and then a double. Lovely pitcher's duel at hand. You love to see some of those, especially after some of the games the Doubledays have already played so far. As the first pitch, fastball misses off the inner edge for ball 1, 1-0. Well, the Doubledays currently trailing 1-0 over the Pioneers. Danyluk looking to get the Doubledays back into the dugout for the bats as a fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike 1, 1-1. A lot of kids starting to line up by the third base dugout, so a little promotional in between innings. 1-1. Now one catches the outside corner, and that outside corner seems to be creeping out maybe a little bit extra pitch by pitch as this game goes along. He's been quite consistent with that, but sometimes a A little extra wiggle room. The 1-2. Swinging a foul back to the screen overhead. So we'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. If you're gonna call that pitch off the plate, you might as well be consistent with it. So both pitchers have seen that outer edge be a little more graciously expanded. Ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Danieluk looks in. Here's the 1-2. Slider bounced in the dirt off the shoulder of Bolin. Kicks away. And no one to retrieve the baseball. There it is. There's the bat boy coming from the Elmira bench. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Deuce is wild with 2 away. Doubledays outfield playing straight up once again. The infield playing straight up. Brody, the second baseman, heels on the turf. Here comes the 2-2 from Danieluk. Throws him for strike 3. A slider that catches the outer edge. Strikeout number 6 for Jake Danieluk. His night looks like it's done. Gets a hug from Ben Julian, and everyone goes out to greet him out in the outfield. We'll take a quick break in this one. It is our score, the Pioneers 1 and the Doubledays nothing. Oh, we're picking things up here in the top half of the 6th inning. Doubledays trailing the Pioneers 1-0. We need to make a correction here on the broadcast. We kept saying Tommy Roldan out in right field. It's actually A.J. Wenrich. Roldan doing the extra hitting tonight, so that's our bad from up here. As James Mason will dig into the right-hand batter's box as we're waiting for a couple of little stragglers of young kids to make their way off the playing surface, as common practice throughout the league is all the kids get to run onto the field in between innings. And this one's taking a little bit of extra time as we're still waiting for the last guy to make his way off the playing surface. It'll be 9, 10, and 1 due up for the Doubledays, looking to crack the scoreboard. 6 total hits in this one, 4 for Elmira, 2 for Auburn. We're looking for just a little bit of offense, something that the Doubledays have been able to provide over the last couple of games as they enter in this one. Currently trailing 1-0. The offense that we've been seeing so far consistently just hasn't been here. Very similar to that Saturday night game against Niagara, as a first pitch slider misses in the dirt for ball 1, 1-0. The big key of this one is the 2-3-4 hitters for Auburn. Other than the base hit by Roldan, that's been pretty much it for the meat of the order, as a fastball catches the inner edge for a called strike 1, 1-1. Ball and a strike as Zintel working back out on the rubber again. Pitch. Wipeout slider misses into the other batter's box. Taken for 2-1. Mason's 1 for 1 in this one so far. Hit a base hit right back up the box his last time up. And he was left stranded back in the 3rd inning. Swinging a chopper over to shortstop. Up with the ball is Fadio. Sends the long throw. Does he pull the guy off the bag? No, he does not. Mason has a little bit of a gripe, as well as Mattson, the first base coach. And here comes Ben Julian out to take the long walk across the diamond, as the throw was on the up the line from Fadio. The first baseman, Yastrzemski, had a very long stretch to get to that ball. And Mason's not moving anywhere. He's staying put at the bag as Julian wants a little of an explanation of what he saw, or rather what the field umpire saw. That's a battle sometimes you just can't win, as actually it looks like we're going to get a discussion here as both umpires are coming together. And what are we waiting on here? As both umpires are going to take a look here, maybe take a talk at this one. Really tough for the home plate umpire to overrule this. Well, we've seen some crazy things happen before, as both umpires are in a casual conversation right now, right in front of home plate on the first base side of the infield grass. It's a really hard decision to make here, especially in the moment. The field umpire had a pretty good look at it too, but maybe was looking more for the timing of the throw, not really looking for the bag, as they're going to call James Mason out at first base. So a 6-3 put out to open things up here in the top half of the 6th inning. As Riley Brody steps back in, he is 0 for 1 in this one. A fly out to right field, his first time up on a first pitch he saw of the summer. Little drag bunt going up the first base line, and it will roll foul and out of play. So we're seeing a little bit of why those extra base hits might have come in for Brody. He's got some pretty good speed. We haven't seen it yet. Where's number 45 on the jersey on the back half? No balls and a strike. Zintel looks in. Here's the 0-1. Slider catches the outer edge, and he's ahead 0-2 now. Top of the order for the Doubledays looming, with Harrison Campy awaiting on deck as the sun is just about to set over us. The 0-2. Swinging a fly ball into left field, gliding over glove side, Granado. He's there camped, puts the squeeze on that. And there are 2 away for the top of the order. Harrison Campy makes his way up to the batter's box. Still nothing working in the Elmira bullpen, as we see the bullpen catcher for the Pioneers start to take a walk out. The left-hander Huxley Holcombe working in the bullpen for the Doubledays, as a first pitch slider catches the inside corner on Campy. 0-1. Doubledays still in control of the West so far, a half game up on the division lead. Still in the early going of the season, as the 0-1 slider waved and missed. Campy out in front. Now in a quick 0-2 hole. Until ready. He's set. Campy ready in the box. Little waggle of the bat. The 0-2 pitch is bounced in front, skipping like a rock. Blocked by the catcher and Schroeder. Ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Tommy Roldan, the extra hitter, awaits on deck if it gets to him. With a pause. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. That is strikeout number 4 so far in this one for Zintel. And that will end matters here in the 6th inning for the Doubledays. We'll take a quick break. A new pitcher to tell you about when we get back here on the Doubledays Radio Network. It's the Pioneers 1 and the Doubledays 0. And we're back here inside Dunfield, and that will do it for Jake Danny Luck today. He pitched really well. 5 innings of work, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. 1 walk that came in to score, and 6 strikeouts, setting a new season high for the Doubledays left-hander. And someone new to tell you about, it's the newcomer, Huxley Holcombe, a tall, lanky, left-handed pitcher out of Worcester, Massachusetts, committed to Cornell, class of 2023. So he's going to have some work cut out for him in his first appearance as a Auburn Doubleday. As we flip things here to 2, 3, and 4 in the order, Aiden Blake, John Schroeder, and Ray Hernandez all due up here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 1-0 Pioneers lead as Blake digs himself into the right-hand batter's box facing the southpaw. Lights have been turned on finally here in the ballpark as a first pitch fastball missing down low for ball 1, 1-0. Huxley comes in as a two-way player. Well, he's probably mostly going to get work on the mound. Old school windup brings the 1-0 fastball. Catches none of the play that time. Pitch that looked like it was called earlier in the ballgame. Taken for ball 2, 2-0. So we spoke a little too soon on our end. As Holcombe, he comes set as a fastball misses down in the dirt for ball 3, 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. On Blake, the leadoff man, doing the DHing tonight. Here's the 3-0. Fastball catches all the outside corner for strike 1, 3-1. James Mason, Christian Bauman, A.J. Wenrich out in the outfield. And then around the horn, Bryce Moore, Harrison Campy, Riley Brody, Hal Walker Jr. over at first base. As a fastball misses the outside corner for ball 4. So a leadoff walk will put a runner on first base for John Schroeder. He's 0 for 2 in this one. A couple of a pop out and a fly out. One in the first and one in the third. So the first walk of the summer for Huxley. He's going to need a work around the leadoff batter. Schroeder digs himself into the right-handed batter's box as well. A couple of waves of the bat as the first pitch is swung and looped out into right field down the line, and it will bounce into the Pioneer bullpen, and they have what appears to be a right-hander throwing. As on the other side of the ball, Max Intel has pitched quite well, holding the Doubleday scoreless so far. Swing and a miss, a good fastball that runs off the outside corner, gets a chase. No balls and 2 strikes. Alcami, this is something that he has really been looking forward to, I'm sure, this summer. Late addition to the Doubledays roster. Long pause. Here's the 0-2. Swinging a foul right back to the screen. So we'll start at 0-2. Little pause from Huxley. Takes a look at the runner at first. Gets his lead. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a line drive sent foul over towards the river. Goes all the way out of play onto the walking path. As the sun has set behind us, a couple of beautiful pink and orange clouds sit overhead. Lights fully in play now. Huxley from the right side sends a fastball on the outside corner. Swing and a miss. First strikeout as a Doubleday. Set Schroeder down, 1 away, and that will bring up Ray Hernandez. Hernandez has been kept quiet so far. Pop out to the shortstop, and then a deep fly ball to right field into the glove of Wenrich. 1 away, runner at first base. Doubleday's looking for that 2-ball right here. Get back to the bats. Only 2 hits in this one so far. Couple of hard hit balls so far as a line drive sent fair down the right field line. As this will be cut off by Wenrich. Here goes the runner to second. Throw comes in on a hop tag applied. Not in time. Under the slide is Ray Hernandez, and runners at second and third with 1 out. And now the Doubledays have another jam to work out of. As here comes Weston Gingrich to the batter's box. Well, it was only a matter of time. Hernandez was going to put something in play hard, in a good base hit down the right field line. Wenrich got to that ball before it stops, and a really strong throw into second. The hop just stayed a little too high for Campy as the infield kind of creeps into halfway. as a first pitch fastball catches the outer edge on Gingrich. He's 0 for 1, hit by a pitch back in the second, and a strikeout in the fourth. Lefty versus lefty, corners of the infield playing in on the grass. Brody and Campy, the middle infielders, playing a little bit deeper. The 0-1, check swing. No go around, says either umpire. Count evens up at 1. Big spot in this one here in the 6th inning. 1-0 our lead in favor of the Pioneers. Couple of runners on the pond. Here's the pitch, swinging a high fly ball sent deep out to right center field. A.J. Wenrich goes back, makes the catch. Tagging at third and scoring is Aiden Blake, and here's that siren again. Cover your ears, folks, as it is another run coming across to score for the Pioneers. They make it 2-0 on the sacrifice fly by Weston Gingrich, and that will bring up Blaze Fadio. So we gave you a warning that time. Luckily, hopefully you're able to turn down your volumes at home. So 2 away, that'll bring up the shortstop Fadio. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. We'll pause and a look at second as the first pitch misses outside for ball 1, 1-0. Looking at second. Huxley's pitch is a fastball in the dirt, stopped by Bolin, able to keep it in front of him. Back retreating to the bag is Hernandez. I want to talk about arms in the outfield. We haven't seen Mason really throw other than from the infield, so we don't have an idea of his arm. Wenrich and Bauman, those are some red lights. With 2 outs, you're going to see a runner going home regardless as a fastball catches the outer edge. 2 balls and a strike. Two-0 score here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Pitch, swing, and a ball off the shins of Bolin. It gets away. It looked like it might have even hit the batter. A good back foot slider kicks away, and now a runner at third base in Hernandez sits 90 feet away. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in a 2-run game. Doubledays looking to hold a runner just there at third base and strand him, get back to the sticks. Huxley looks at the runner at third, then he comes set. Looking at Bolin. The 2-2 pitch is a swing and a miss. A fastball off the outside corner. Gets a swinging strike 3, second of the ball game. And that will retire the side. But the Pioneers get another one. They add to their lead. It's now 2-0. Picking things up here in the top half of the 7th inning. Now we're in the back third of this one. Doubledays still looking to get themselves on the board. This is the part of the order they want to do it. Tommy Roldan will lead things off here for Auburn. It'll be Roldan, Stang, and Bauman, 2, 3, 4. Our best hitters are trying to crack the code of Zintil so far tonight. He's pitched brilliant here as he enters into the back third as a first pitch fastball misses off the plate away for ball 1, 1-0. As some smoke has started to come in and play a factor now in the outfield as it looks like a little control burn behind some of the houses in center field. Little hazy field of play here at Dunfield as a slider misses outside for ball 2-0, and that's another thing that both the infielders and hitters have to worry about is a little haze. So some tough timing behind the center field wall. 2 balls, no strikes to Roldan as he takes a look at a fastball upstairs for ball 3, 3-0. Roldan 1 for 2 in this one, a base hit, stolen bag in the first inning, and then ground out to the first baseman his last time up. Here comes 3-0. Swing, a chopper sent up the middle. Up with the ball is Fadio. Long throw across, and a green light swing on 3-0 for Roldan. Grounds out to the shortstop. And they're just like that. There's one away to begin the top half of the 7th inning. Only 2 hits recorded for the Doubledays offense so far. Their loss to Niagara, their more struggles of the offense, they were still able to scratch 5 hits across. 2 runs did also score. Looking to avoid a shutout as Bobby Stang steps in, and the first pitch sliders waved at and missed. Still a long season to go. 2-0 game, top half of the 7th inning, as the pitch to Stang is popped up in the infield. Moving over is Presto, covering the right side as he puts the squeeze on it and retires Stang. 2 outs, and here comes Christian Bauman. Well, for the Doubledays, this offense, we haven't seen the struggles so far like this season, as Roldan currently leads the Doubledays in runs created at 5. Rather, that's actually, he's in second with 5.25. Bobby Stang, the leader in the clubhouse, with 5.92 runs created. And you guessed it, Christian Bauman right behind him at 4 runs created. So far, only 1 hit between the 2, 3, 4 hitters as Bauman sends a line drive into right center field. That one falls in, so the second hit by the meat of the order for the Doubledays. Timely one with 2 away. That'll extend the inning, and here comes A.J. Wenrich. Well, we mentioned Wenrich as our pick to click so far tonight, as here comes Andrew Drum out to go get his starting pitcher as he pitched one heck of a ball game, going with deep into the 7th inning. Pitches his 6 2/3, and we'll have a new pitcher to tell you about when we take a quick break on the Doubledays Radio Network. And we're back here at Dunfield as the Doubledays finally chase Max Until. He's had one good game on the mound for the Pioneers. His day is complete but not yet finished, as he pitched 6 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He is still responsible for Christian Bauman on first base with 2 outs. And we got a new pitcher to tell you about here. It's a right-hander from down under, Gardner Minks. A little almost sidearm / submariner from the 3/4 arm slot. The right-hander out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Goes to Roanoke College, a sophomore this season. 1-1 so far in the summer with with a 180 ERA, 5 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 4 hits. His time so far, he pitched against Geneva in the win, goes 3 innings, gives up 1 run. It was earned. 3 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, faced 14 batters. Opponent's average was .211 so far this year, and then he also pitched in the game against Batavia. Yeah, he got the loss in that one. Went 2 innings pitched, gave up 2 runs. However, neither of them were earned on 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 10 batters faced. As the Doubledays have some work to do as A.J. Winrich, our pick-to-click, steps in to the right-hand batter's box. He's ready to go to face the reliever. Bauman, short lead over there at first base, as the first pitch is a fastball that dots the outside corner for a called strike 1. So let's see if the Doubledays can do anything against this Pioneer bullpen. They were able to secure a win last week against them, as the first pitch is, rather the second pitch of the inning, the fastball off the outer edge for ball 1, 1-1. Outfield playing pretty deep and no doubles. Winrich does have the power. Let's see if he's able to run into something here. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, and that was the pitch to do it. A slider just catches the middle away, outer half. Now the Doubledays are looking at a ball and 2 strikes with runner on. 2 outs. Hal Walker Jr. awaits on deck if it gets to him. Bauman with his lead. The 1-2 pitch coming home. Swing and a miss, and a stare down from the reliever in Meeks. He takes a walk back to the first base dugout and slams the door in the 7th inning. Doubledays still looking for any answers on offense. We go now to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Stretch time here in Elmira. Our score, the Pioneers 2 and the Doubledays nothing. And we're picking things up here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Doubledays still looking at a 0 in the run column. We're able to get an extra hit. 5 hits to 3, 2 runs scored for Elmira so far in this one. As we're picking things up here in the bottom half of the 7th inning after the 7th inning stretch. It'll be Cooper Smith, Griffin Yastrzemski, and Dom Presto. 7, 8, and 9 due up. Smith delivered the opening knife so far in this one. It was a 1-run double. A little bit of a gift given, as remember that strikeout to Blaze Fatio was a fastball that might have caught the inside corner, but instead the Doubledays are looking at a 2-run deficit as the first pitch fastball is fouled right back to the screen. No balls and a strike. Smith patrolling right field in this one. That's Hall Combi looking to get the Doubledays back in the dugout once again. Here's the 0-1. A little off-speed pitch misses outside for ball 1, 1-1. Plenty of baseball left to be played tonight. Doubledays are down to their final 6 outs. Anything can happen in those 2 innings as a fastball misses in off the plate for ball 2, 2-1 now. Remember, folks, come on out to the ballpark tomorrow as the Doubledays take on the Newark Pilots. I'll start at 4:05 and a post-game meet and greet on the field as a foul ball sent right back to the screen evens up the count at 2-2. After that, Doubledays will take a look at Batavia for the first time. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out to lead things off here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. As the left-hander deals a swing, a little tapper to the third baseman and more, a little step, and he has it. A long throw across, a healthy stretch by Hal Walker Jr. secures the bang-bang play at first base. 1 away in the 7th inning. That will bring up Griffin Yastrzemski. He's 0 for 2 in this one. A strikeout and a line out to the center fielder in Bauman. That was to close out the 4th inning. Lefty here. As Hall Kami's first pitch is a fastball that runs just up for ball 1, 1-0. Good crowd on hand, giving plenty of love for the hometown faithful as the 1-0. This is upstairs for ball 2, 2-0. A little limbo out of the way from Yastrzemski. Both bullpens empty at the moment for the Pioneers and the Doubledays as the 2-0 pitch comes in. Swing and a miss. Good wave at the fastball on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike now. 8:30 local time here in Elmira. Hope you're having a good Saturday afternoon, evening, wherever you may be, as the 2-1 pitch is a fastball waved at and miss on the inside corner. And the count will even up at 2-2. Doubledays defense playing pretty much straight up, except for Bauman, the center fielder, shading a little more to the pull side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. The pitch taken on the outside corner, freezes Yastrzemski. Second time heading back to the dugout. His second strikeout of the game. Huxley's 3rd strikeout this evening. 2 away will bring up Dom Presto. Presto 0 for 2 in this one so far. Lined out to the second baseman, Brody, his first time up. Then grounded right back to Danny Luck, the pitcher, back in the 5th inning. Here's the first pitch to him. Taken downstairs below the knees for ball 1, 1-0. Moore, the third baseman, off the bag at third. Can't be the shortstop, playing a little more in the 6 hole as a ground ball sent Moore's way. He's got it on the run. Fires a low throw. Can't get dug out, and the ball gets away from the first baseman, Walker Jr. And a throwing error by Bryce Moore puts a runner in scoring position and gives the Pioneers an extra out. So it was going to be a clean defensive effort so far for the Doubledays until the wide throw. And a runner is set in scoring position with 2 away in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And that will extend for Nick Montagna. He's 0 for 2 in this one as well. A strikeout and a flyout as Presto had to send the shin guard out to the first base coach's box. Still no wind to be had, despite the breeze blowing out to center field favoring the hitters. That has gone away completely. The flag is still out in center field as a swing and a miss. A good fastball runs above the hands. It's a wave at and miss. Temperatures dropped a little bit. It's now 67 degrees as a fastball taken off the outside corner, called for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Looking for strikeout number 4 in the game since coming into pitch. Here's the 0-2. That one's taken downstairs in the dirt for ball 1, 1-2. Talking about the outfield arms, Bauman, that's a red light. A.J. Wenrich, we've seen his arm a couple of times so far this year. He is also a red light if you're a base runner. Ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swinging a jam shot foul down the first base side. That's headed for the dugout. And we'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Temperature at first pitch was a nice warmish 73 degrees. A little bit of mugginess coming from some moisture left in the air from the rain early on. Cooled down to 67. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Bolin for strike 3. Strikeout number 4. Wipes away the error and retires this side. We will go to the 8th inning. Doubledays only have 6 outs to work with. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Radio Network. It is the Pioneers 2, and the Doubledays nothing. Doubledays have some work to do with the last 6 outs of the ball game. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up. Hal Walker Jr., Jake Bolin, and Bryce Moore. See if anybody can crack the code on Elmira pitching tonight. As we mentioned, last week was one of the more wild games we've seen, or at least I've seen so far. Back and forth battle going all the way till the end, and then the Doubledays really poured it on in the later stages. Were able to cap off a 10-run victory. A little bit different circumstances tonight as back on the mound, Gardner Minks looks in and delivers the first pitch, fastball right at the letters for a called strike 1 on Hal Walker Jr. 0 for 2 in this one, a couple of ground outs for his day so far. A little bit of a pause. Here's the 0-1. Slider backs off Walker, but it is a strike on the inner half. Now he's down 0-2, takes a second to step out, recollects himself, a couple of taps on the plate. Meeks set, takes a look at the sign, glove right above the nose. He comes set the belt, working from the right-hand side of the rubber. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball misses well off the plate for ball 1, 1-2. And well, maybe you can see maybe why he thought he was a strike there. That ball has been called a strike before in this ball game. Walker toes up closer to the line of the batter's box. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a pop-up foul. Plenty of room for the catcher Schroeder giving chase, but it takes a hop before hitting the fence. So Walker stays alive in this one. Jake Bolin, the catcher, due up next. Looking for some Auburn offense that we're accustomed to seeing. It's been pretty much shut down today. Elmira pitching has done a good job to silence the loud bats. The Doubledays currently with 11 total extra base hits this year. Slider backs off the inside corner. A little sweep of the feet. Count evens up at 2-2 apiece. Nobody out as we are in the top half of the 8th inning. Doubledays currently down 2-0. A run in the 4th and a run in the 6th inning. As the 2-2 pitch comes in, swinging a foul ball sent off the plate. Down the right side, out of play. So we'll try it again at 2-2. Night sky starting to get a little darker in the sky. A light blue still overhead. 2 balls, 2 strikes for the leadoff batter here in the inning. Here comes the 2-2. And it looks like a hit by a pitch as Hal Walker Jr. gets clipped on the elbow guard. So comes back from all the way down 0-2, works a hit by a pitch. And that will bring up Jake Bolin, the Villanova catcher. You gotta think he's been wanting to run into a baseball this year. We've seen him in batting practice a couple of times, hitting some balls off the left field wall at Falcon Park as he is really crowding the plate, trying to take away that front door slider. As the first pitch is a fastball that runs off the plate away for ball 1, 1-0. Infield playing double play depth. Fadio, the shortstop, playing a little more deeper at short. Second baseman Don Presto off the bag at second. He's closer to second. Griffin Yastrzemski holding the runner on. Pitch. Off the plate away for ball 2, 2-0. Maybe a little late inning pressure. Might get a little panic from the right-hander on the mound for Elmira. Walker gets his lead. Wide open hole on the right side. Montagano off the bag at third. The pitch, swing and a miss. A good hack on a fastball on the outside corner. Comes up empty at 2-1. Doubledays have gotten a runner to second base, have yet to give Ben Julian a visit at third. 3 hits in this one so far. Pitch, swing, and a little jam shot out into right to catch. And he retires Bolin, and that will bring up Bryce Moore. Bryce Moore 0 for 2 in this one. A fly out to right field his first time up, and then a hard line out to left field. Was trying to get a trap call on the left fielder in Granado as he waves at a slider on the outside for a swinging strike 1. It appeared that Granado might have trapped the ball diving in. It's hard to tell, though, from all the way up here at least. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a tailor-made ground ball. Actually, it gets on through for a base hit. Well, it looked like it was going to be cut off by Montagano. He gave up quite early on it. Blaze Fadio couldn't get to that ball deep in the 6th hole, so a C-nice single for the Doubledays puts runners at first and second, and that'll bring up James Mason. Oh, it looked like all the way from up here this was going to be a routine double play for Elmira. Instead, it was a perfectly placed ground ball too far away from Montagano, the third baseman, to get it, and well past the outstretched glove of Fadio. And now the Doubledays have something brewing with 1 away. First and second, James Mason, he hasn't hit in this one so far. First pitch, jam shot, and this is going to be a tough play. Throw to second for 1. The relay to first gets away. Here comes the runner in to score. And Hal Walker Jr. over to second. And time is called as Mason was taking the turn as the ball looks like it got into the dugout. So here comes the Doubledays in the top half of the 8th inning on the throwing error by Blaze Fadio. Routine ground ball to the first baseman. Yastrzemski spins and fires a dot to second base. And Fadio had to get it to the runner, the pitcher covering in Meeks. And the throw gets away from him and it rolls into the dugout. So the tying run sits at second base with 2 away. And that brings up Riley Baradian. How about this for a welcome to Auburn? That would be a surely needed base hit to bring in the runner. Mason takes his lead off second, couple of looks in. Here's the first pitch as a fastball misses downstairs low for ball 1. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch coming in. Fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike. As a right-hander, Michael Sills starts to loosen up in the bullpen for the Doubledays. A little bit of fight coming from Auburn here in the later innings. Meeks takes a look at second. Working his lead is Mason. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball runs upstairs above the hands for ball 2, 2-1 now. Would love to see Brody bring that .314 average in play here. Good summer, or rather a good spring season for the Bombers. 2-1 fastball is up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 away, runner at second in a 2-1 ball game. Hal Walker Jr. in to score after reaching first on a hit by a pitch. Bryce Moore erased on the fielder's choice, which allowed Walker to score on the air. The pitch upstairs for ball 3, 3-2. Now we have a payoff pitch with Harrison Campy awaiting on deck. And you would love for the Doubledays to look in. Here's the 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a pop-up foul. Going, chasing, it's Montagano. Running out of room towards the Doubledays dugout. Look out. Montagano runs straight into the dugout. No steps, just straight into the Doubledays bench as the ball hits the top of the roof of the dugout. And we'll try this again at 3-2 now. Roddy staying alive. 2-1 ball game. Mason, the runner, at second base. Brody, the hitter, waving the gray bat back and forth as he waits for Meeks to come set. Looking to get his sign from Schroeder. Comes set. The left-hander had a couple of looks in. The 3-2 pitch runs inside, back away. The throw into second base to try and catch Mason off the bag. This on Sunday. No quit from the Doubledays. Brody, good speed over there at first base. Mason aboard at second base, a little bit above average. Can't be looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3 in this one. First pitch slider misses off the plate away for ball 1-0. We've seen Campy come up big so far for Auburn. Despite being the leadoff man, he has an RBI to his name. Couple of looks in. Here's the 1-0. Fastball catches the knees on the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Crowd a little bit silenced after the throwing error. The air in this ballpark has been a little bit let go. 1-1 pitch. Runners take their leads first and second. The pitch to Campy. Off the plate inside for ball 2. Try to back up a slider. Campy in the driver's seat at 2-1. Good hitters count. Mason lead off second. Brody a lead off of first base. Meeks, the pitcher, comes set. Takes a look. The 2-1. Swinging a lashing foul ball above the dugout of the first base side. Campy with a little slam into the barrel of his bat. Takes a little walk, digs himself back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top half of the 8th inning in a 2-1 ball game. 4 hits for the Doubledays, 5 for the Pioneers. Both sides have an error. Campy waving the max bat. Sets it above his ear. Meeks, pitcher ready as time is called by Campy. And now time is called by the catcher and Schroeder. He's going to go out and have a word with his hurler. What an inning. It started with a hit by a pitch to Hal Walker Jr. Jake Bolin lined out to right field first out of the game. Bryce Moore hit a seeing eye single through the left side. And then James Mason hit a squibbing ground ball to Griffin Yastrzemski. Sent a good throw to second for 1. The relay with Meeks covering got. So we will try this again as runners have to take a retreat back to the bags. The cool, brisk air starting to affect the ball play here. Early drama in the season. Big spot for the Doubledays. First and second. 2 outs. Campy ready. Meeks looks in. Gets his sign. And a little swim move to second as both runners retreat back to their bags. As both umpires show a little 1 to signify a first move. We'll try it again at 2-2. Campy ready. Meeks looks in. Here's the pitch from the right-hander. Swing a fly ball into shallow center field. Coming in is Gingrich. He can't get it. It's down. Here comes the throw to the plate. Mason, the high throw. Tag applied. Not in time. Doubledays have tied it. Harrison Campy sends a parachute shot into shallow left center field. Mason going on the crack of the bat, and the Doubledays have equalized 2-2. Runners at the corners. And here comes Andrew Drum out to talk with his right-hander, as it looks like that might do it for Gardner Meeks. The whole infield comes in to talk. Harrison Campy, a little parachute shot into shallow left center field, and that will do it for Meeks. Can't get the hold on, and we will have a pitching change. Doubledays tie this thing up in the 8th inning. We'll be back on the Doubledays Radio Network. Well, the events have certainly took a little bit of a backseat here in Elmira as the Doubledays have tied things up here in the top half of the 8th inning. Harrison Campy sending a shallow pop fly into left center field. Mason on his horse immediately, rounding third, a high throw on a late tag applied by John Schroeder, and the Doubledays equalize at 2-2, and with another opportunity to get another one back, as that does it for Gardner Minks. Goes an inning, gives up 1 hit, 2 runs. They were not earned. No walks and a strikeout, as Brendan Ferrari from UMass Boston takes the ball for Elmira. And here we are with Tommy Roldan stepping in, the Doubledays' best hitter. 2 away, runners at the corners. Swing and a miss. Fastball running upstairs. Roldan in this one currently 1 for 3, base hit and a stolen base back in the first inning. Ground outs in the 4th and the 7th. Fastball taken at the outer edge for a called strike 2. Roldan in an 0-2 hole. Campy at first. Riley Brody, the runner at third. Roldan taking his time, sets back in. Wide stance in the box. Campy with a lead off first. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. A little limbo out of the way on a high fastball, buzzing up and in. Ball and 2 strikes. Sills waiting still in the bullpen for the Doubledays out of Woofer College. Roldan waving the bat back and forth, sets it on the shoulder. Campy really good lead dance in the pitch. Swing and a spoil of a foul ball back to the screen. Looks like Campy was trying to time up the pitcher in Ferrari. The air has been completely taken out of this ballpark, which was getting a little rowdy. Then the Doubledays' lengthy top of the 8th inning has put this game where we're at tied at 2. Campy healthy lead over there at first base, a little dance off the bag. Stays put, the pitch. Swinging a ground ball sent up the middle and right to the glove of Fadio, who takes it himself to the bag to retire the side. However, the Doubledays strike for 2 and they tie it up here in the 8th inning. We'll be back here on the Doubledays Radio Network. It's the Doubledays 2 and the Pioneers 2. And welcome back to Dunfield at Municipal Stadium. The Doubledays just tied this game up. If you're just joining us here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, Auburn scored 2 to equalize us up at 2 apiece. And Huxley Halcombi is back out for another inning of work for the Doubledays. So he's going to have the top of the order: Matt Granado, Aiden Blake, and John Schroeder, 1, 2, and 3, due up for the Pioneers. As you like to see the fight coming from Auburn, struggling to just get a runner into scoring position and move him around for 7 2/3 innings, and a fastball first bounces into the dish for ball 1, 1-0. But it was a little bit of magic coming. First from a hit by a pitch on Hal Walker Jr. Bryce Moore moved him to second on the base hit. As a first pitch, swinging a high fly ball, towering into left field to the lights. Going back is Mason. He's there to put the squeeze on it, 1 away. So a loud first out. We'll bring up Aiden Blake. A double, a strikeout, and a walk so far for a 1-for-2 day. That was the fielder's choice, hit by James Mason to the first baseman. Griffin Yastrzemski sent a good throw over to second for Fadio. He had to wait for the pitcher to cover to try and steal the double play and get out of the inning. Instead, a throw up the line, kicked into the dugout, put a run on the board for the Doubledays. As a first pitch slider misses in the dirt glove side to Bolin. Ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a foul ball, lashed down the first base side into the car park. Almost hits a car down the right field line. Look out. Count evens up at 1. All that controlled burn has left a nice little hazy little cloud behind the center field wall. Otherwise, a picture-perfect day for perfect game. Collegiate League Baseball is a fly ball sent out to right field. Taking a squat to catch this one is Wenrich. He catches it about chest high when he drops down, and there's 2 away on a couple of quick outs here in the 8th inning, and that will bring up John Schroeder, the catcher. Still getting loose in the bullpen for the Doubledays. Not seeing anyone else get loose. It looks like it'll be Ferrari's game going into the 9th inning. That was Harrison Campy who hit a loop single into left center field that ultimately tied this thing up as Wenrich has to go down to the glove side, down the right field line, makes a running catch, puts the squeeze on this one, and he retires the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Pioneers. It's the 9th inning. A little nitty-gritty time in the early going. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Radio Network. And welcome back to the Doubledays Radio Network. Auburn has the bats here in the top half of the 9th inning. Tie game at 2-2. Both teams with 5 hits apiece and an error. As that error for the Pioneers certainly helped aid in the Doubledays equalizing the score. As here we go. Nitty-gritty time, as Dave Sims would say, for the Mariners. Tie game 2-2 in the top half of inning number 9. Meat of the order still for Auburn. Bobby Stang, Christian Bauman, A.J. Wenrich. Still time for that pick to click, by the way. As first, it's Bobby Stang to lead things off. The Doubledays would love to see maybe a little bit of thump from his bat. Mentioned he's been hitting doubles left, right, and center. As Ferrari, the pitcher, stands in. The first pitch is a slider that misses off the plate away for ball 1. 1-0. Auburn would like to not see this game go into extra innings. We certainly wouldn't like to see it go into extra innings either, but whatever it takes to get a win. As Stang ready in the box, the 1-0. Fastball. That one catches the knees on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Still getting loose in the left field bullpen for the Doubledays. Stang set, rocking back and forth. Ferrari, the pitcher, brings in a fastball off the plate well away for ball 2, 2-1. Granado, Gingrich, and Smith playing straight away and quite deep out in the outfield. They know the power that Stang possesses. They witnessed it firsthand. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. A little tardy on the fastball on the outside corner. Count evens up at 2-2. Christian Bauman awaits on deck. Would love to see him get his bat back into this one. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Tardy on the fastball. That's Bobby's second time K'ing tonight. This one swinging. First strikeout coming from Ferrari. One away, and that'll bring up Bauman, who's 1 for 3 in this one. Pop out, strikeout, and then a base hit. Was able to knock Zintil, the starter, out of the game, though. I was back in the 7th inning. Bauman waving his bat back and forth, waiting for Ferrari to come set, which he does. First pitch, swing, and a pop-up foul out of play behind the Doubledays dugout. Ooh, that hit something. No balls and a strike, 1 away. Infield shifted to Bauman's pull side. Left-handed batter digs himself in. Ferrari, the right-hander, comes set. Open hole on the left side of the infield as a check swing. Does he go around? Wow. Says he goes around. Don't know really how you can see it from the first base line. Field umpire giving a palms up, as well as Julian is as well. Now Bauman's down an 0-2 hole. Tough break for Auburn. 1 away. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Ferrari. That one's taken off the plate away for ball 1, 1-2. And it's always tough for a field umpire to make that call. It's a quick little look in. It's more of a judgment call, as we see usually it's crossing the plane. In the NCAA, it's a rule about crossing the leg as a foul ball sent way deep down the right field line out of play. Bauman stays alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Like I said, it's an interpretation of the rule. Still a tough judgment call regardless, especially if it's a left-hand batter. Ball and 2 strikes, 1 away. The pitch. Slider misses below the zone. Bauman walks himself out of the box before recollecting himself. Gives a deep breath before looking back at his bat, waving it back and forth before pointing it straight up. Ferrari, the right-hander, set from the first base side of the rubber. The pitch. Swinging a little parachute shot down the left field line, and it will slice foul well out of the reach of Granado, the left fielder, who gave it a good hustle. And so we'll try it again at 2-2. Only 2 hits for the Doubledays, meat of the order at 2, 3, and 4. Wenmich waiting on deck, our pick to click early on. Waiting for that ball to finally get sent back to the dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Bauman set. The right-hander is also set. Ferrari. Here's the 2-2 pitch as a fastball is taken at the knees for a called 3rd strike. A quick 2 outs for the Doubledays in the top of the 9th inning. And here comes A.J. Wenrich. 2nd strikeout of the game recorded for Ferrari. Wenrich 0 for 3 in this one. A ground out to the shortstop and the second baseman. Actually, a couple of ground outs to the shortstop in this one and a strikeout. The right fielder digs himself into the right-handed batter's box as the first pitch taken for a called strike on the outer edge. Wenrich back, grabs a little dirt, rubs his hands before digging himself back in. Ferrari ready to go. The 0-1. Downstairs low with a slider for ball 1, 1-1. Nice day for baseball as you can't really see the foothills of the backdrop anymore. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a foul right back to the screen. Wenrich sent a good hack, just able to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs as Hell's Bells start to play over the PA system. 5 hits apiece so far for both ball clubs as well as an error. Doubledays got their 2 runs last inning in the 8th inning. A run in the 4th and the 6th for the Pioneers. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch to Wenrich. Skips into the dirt and heads right back to the screen. Looks like Michael Sills will have the ball for the Doubledays going into the 9th inning. Crowd getting into it now. 2-2. 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch. Swing and a miss. A fastball off the outer edge. And Brandon Ferrari strikes out the Doubledays in order as we go into the 9th inning. Doubledays need to keep this one right where it's at. As here we go, looking to push this one to free baseball. Michael Sills, we'll tell you a little more about him when we come back on the Doubledays Radio Network. And that will close the book on Huxley Holcombi. He pitched well out of relief for the Doubledays. 3 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. As the Doubledays go right back to the bullpen, it'll be Michael Sills out of Woodford College. He'll be joining Harrison Campy, or more or less Harrison Campy will be joining the new hurler this fall. As the Pioneers will have a tough part of the order to deal with, 4, 5, and 6. As we take a look at the stats this season for the Woodford right-hander. As the first pitch fastball swung and missed by Ray Hernandez, 0-1. Pitched against 3 teams this year through 2 innings and a third. Had to pitch against Wake Forest. That was a tough one. Gave up 4 hits, 6 runs. Only 2 of those were earned. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Gave up a double and 3 home runs. As a little check swing. Does he go around? Oh, yes, he does, says the first base umpire. And if you're going to say he did to Bauman, you kind of have to say that Hernandez went around as well. It's a tough look, but you got to be consistent with the call. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Leading things off here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Pitch. Swinging a ground ball sent into the Pioneers dugout. Foul down the first base side. So we'll try it again at 0-2. Sills was also talking about pitching against, or not him pitching against Oral Roberts, but Woodford played against Oral Roberts earlier in the season. So it was a tough one. They got swept as a little parachute shot down the third baseline out of play, foul. Still 0-2. Oral Roberts looking to avoid getting swept by Oregon in the Super Regional. So that game probably is going on right about now, or maybe just getting started on the West Coast in Eugene. No balls, 2 strikes for Hernandez. Pitch coming from Sills. Inside off the plate. Ball, 2 strikes. Big right-hander digs himself back in. Sills looking to get a quick work here in the 9th. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Really ran the fastball down at the knees. Gets a swinging strikeout. First one of the season for Michael Sills. That's a big first out to get. 1 away, and that will bring up Weston Gingrich. For Gingrich, he's done his damage so far. Hit by a pitch. Strikeout was the 5th strikeout of the ballgame for Danny Luck. Then delivered the 2nd run on a sacrifice fly out to right field. Sills looks in as the first pitch squaring around a bunt. Yes, he goes around, made some contact, fouls it off. Trying to sneak aboard as Bryce Moore, the third baseman, was crashing. He's going to play now on the infield grass. Can't be the shortstop, playing a little bit deeper into the 6th hole. Riley Brody playing pretty much straight away at second. Heels on the grass. And Hal Walker Jr. plays about a step off the grass as Sills steps off. First disengagement of the at-bat. Gets back on the rubber. Looks in to get his sign from Bolin. He comes set at the chest. Little pause, and here's the 0-1. Check swing taken on the outside corner for a called strike 2. Now Gingrich is down in an 0-2 hold just like that. Looks in. Gets his sign as the 0-2 pitch comes in, and that one runs on the thigh and just catches Gingrich. A tough look on 0-2. Looks like you have a batter on the ropes, and that's the last thing you want to do is run something on inside, and you put speed aboard for Blaze Fadio. So make things just a little more interesting here in the bottom half of the 9th inning as the winning run now just sits over at first base. So Sills going to have to work out of a jam here. Runner at first takes his lead. Hal Walker holding him on. Brody has to leave that 4-hole wide open. There goes a runner. In the dirt, taken. The throw down to second's a good one. Skips away, but can't be backing up. And now here's the winning run sitting right behind Sills at second. Outfielder's going to have to come up firing. Bauman, really good arm in center. Wenrich, a cannon out in right field. Mason has a pretty good arm out there as well. He's now starting to walk in. Outfield playing a little more shallow than usual, ready to come up firing off the short grass. Couple of looks in. Dancing off the bag is Gingrich. The 1-0. Swing and a ground ball sent to the Doubledays dugout. Ball and a strike. A little bit of a longer outfield grass. It's really slow out there. We kind of saw that in batting practice as well as during the game. Wenrich had to pick up pretty much a stopped moving ball to try and get Hernandez out at second. Hit a double early on as ball's in the dirt. Bolin really has to be cautious behind the plate as time is called. The home plate umpire is going to take the broom out and brush away all the dirt caked on home plate. So a slight little delay. He's back behind the plate. Bolin fixing the shell cap and the mask. Gets it back on. Drops back into the squat. Sills. Winning run sits right behind him at second base. Takes a look in. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a chopper foul. As Ben Julian plays a little juggle trick. Keeps the ball into the dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away for Blaze Fadio. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Sills would love to give him the hat trick and send him packing here. Gingrich lead at second, really dancing. There he goes. Pitch called for strike 3 to throw to third. Not in time. Bryce Moore says the throw beat him. So there's the hat trick on Fadio. But that puts the winning run now just 90 feet away at home. Second strikeout of the game for Sills since entering. But now the winning run just sits right at third. Now they puts a lot of pressure on the defense just getting out here. 2 away as Cooper Smith, the right fielder, steps in. Looking in. Here's the first pitch. Fastball caught at the knees for a called strike 1. No balls and a strike. 2 away. Outfield playing all the way in now. Base hit. They're just going to have to send a throw in a prayer. The pitch. Upstairs for ball 1, 1-1. As we mentioned, Bolin's going to have to be extra cautious with a lot of real estate behind him. Anything that kicks away, you're going to see the runner break. Gingrich dancing off third. 1-1 pitch coming from Sills. Send a high pop-up. Shallow right field. Wenrich is coming in. He's camped to make the catch, and that will retire the side. We have free baseball coming to you from Elmira. Michael Sills keeps the winning run just 90 feet away stranded. It's the top half of the 10th inning. Our score, the Doubledays 2 and the Pioneers 2. We'll be right back on the Doubledays Radio Network. Picking things up here in free baseball, top half of the 10th inning. The Doubledays will have 6, 7, and 8 due up. That's how they tied it last time. Hal Walker Jr., Jake Bolin, and Bryce Moore due up, and they got a new guy to see on the mound. It's a right-hander, Christian Zeile. Doesn't have a win-loss record so far in 2 games this year. Has pitched 3 1/3 innings pitched, strikeout 4, walked 4, given up 3 hits. As the Doubledays are looking to get the ice broken here. And it looks like we're going to do the California tiebreaker as A.J. Wenrich has grabbed the oven mitt in a helmet. He's headed off to second base. So now let's see how good both of these ball clubs can play execution baseball. As we sit here in the top half of the 10th inning. So Wenrich, your ghost runner aboard at second base. Some pretty good speed there to help out the cause. Now let's see what the Doubledays do on offense here with Hal Walker at the plate. Hit by a pitch, later came around to score to get the Doubledays on the board in the 8th. So Zeile, he comes set at the numbers. Takes a look at Wenrich. Squaring around Walker Jr. Pops the bunt up. Is it catchable for Schroeder? It is. A big first out, and that will bring up Jake Bolin. So we're just talking about how each side can execute. Getting the bunt down was task number 1. And it doesn't work out for the Doubledays, and now they have to scramble to see if they can push that runner in with only 1 away now. Bolin's 0 for 3 in this one so far as he digs into the right-hand batter's box. Zeile looks at the runner, Wenrich at second. The pitch. Slider catches the outer edge on the corner for a called strike 1. Bolin does not have an RBI recorded yet this season so far. Just a couple of singles so far in his Doubledays career. Wide open 4-hole to pitch. Swinging a foul tip off the glove of the catcher, Schroeder. Griffin Yastrzemski hugging the first base line. Nick Montagno about a couple of steps and a dive away from the third base bag. Open 4-hole with Don Presto covering the runner at second. Coming set is Zeile. Takes a look in at Wenrich dancing. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a ball right off the leg. Despite having the shin guard, still hurts a little bit. As Bolin will walk that one off, taking a little walk around the dirt behind home plate. We have completely blacked out skies overhead and off into the distance where you used to be able to see the foothills of the mountains. Is now just a deep navy blue. Zeile comes set, takes a look at Wenrich. Here's the 0-2 once again. Swing and a miss, a fastball running above the hands. And now it comes down to Bryce Moore if he can keep this inning alive for the Doubledays. Second time Bolin has struck out this one. Bryce Moore got the inning extended back in the 8th inning, a base hit. He was later cut down at the fielder's choice at second base. Ultimately helped tie the game up. Couple of looks in, the pitch. Swinging a ground ball sent to the shortstop Fadio. On the run, sends a throw right to the glove of Yastrzemski. And the Pioneers are able to surrender and get out of a tough jam with the ghost runner on second base. Now it's Auburn's turn to see what they can do, as they need to hold a tight one. They will have a runner on second base going into the bottom half of the 10th inning. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Radio Network. Well, here we go. Bottom half of the 10th inning. Doubledays and the Pioneers. Runner, it'll be the right fielder, Cooper Smith. He was the last recorded out, so he's taking a jog out to the second base bag. Well, now the Doubledays are going to have to play a little defense and see what they can do to force the Pioneers to do what the Doubledays did in the top half of the 10th inning and maybe escape with just leaving that guy right at second base. As for some fans in extra innings, a little bit more of a deeper flashback than others. We don't need to get into that yet, as the corners come in. Bryce Moore playing a 45-degree angle, getting ready for the bunt. Sills comes set. As a swim move to second, guy caught off as Smith was taking an extra step to third. Oh, he's lucky that the throw didn't come almost immediately, as the first swim move also gives the infielders a chance to see if Griffin Yastrzemski squares around. Coming set. There's the square. Fastball taken off the plate high for ball one, 1-0. Runner at second on the ghost runner. 2-2 game. 5 hits apiece. 1 error apiece as well for both ball clubs. Campy getting in the back pocket. Bunt gets squared around, popped up. Can Bolin put the squeeze on it? Yes, he can. And how about that? Both teams try to get the guy over on a bunt. They pop it up, and it's caught by the catcher. Sometimes the more chaotic baseball can just do that. Pop out to the catcher, 1 away, and that will bring up Dom Presto. Looking at an 0 for 3 night so far. Line out, ground out, and then reached on air. Dancing at second is Smith. First pitch from Sills. Fastball that runs on the black of the inside corner for a called strike one, 0-1. We're not tired yet here in the booth. We're just getting underway here as the late innings cause for the most excitement in baseball. Runner takes his lead off second. Sills looks in, dancing. The runner, the pitch. Off the plate away for ball one, 1-1. That winning run just sits at second behind Sills. Waving the black bat back and forth, waiting for Sills to come set on the rubber. He does. Infield playing deep. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball taken on the inside corner once again at the knees for a called strike 2. And now Sills has him right where he needs him at 1-2. A game of chess now between both sides here. Moves and counter moves. Sills comes set. From the first base side of the rubber, Campy shading the runner in Smith as a foul ball sent back to the screen. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, Campy really sacrificing a lot of real estate on the left-hand side of the infield, trying to keep the runner in Smith right where he is. He's just been kind of living in the back left pocket, as that's where he is right now. Dancing off the bag. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Gets away from Bolin, and the runner will be 90 feet away with only 1 out. As here we go. Everyone here in Elmira at Dunn Field and Municipal Stadium now gets on their feet. The infield has come in and the outfield as well has come in. Anything over their heads, and this game was over. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Sills needs to really get a strikeout here. He comes set. Runner takes his lead at third. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a fly ball into left field. Wenrich backing up. Makes the catch. Runner tags. Here's the throw to the plate. And it is not in time. And a walk-off win, as we're going to take a look. Did the runner leave early? No, he did not. Ben Julian heated as the helmet comes flying off. He's going to follow the home plate umpire as a mob starts to follow the Pioneer guys out into the outfield. And that's how this ball game ends. A walk-off sacrifice fly. Julian heated that the runner left early from third. No appeal from the umpires. And that is how the ball game ends. A sacrifice fly. Julian still heated, getting his money's worth, following both of these umpires. Tells him he only has one job to look at as both umpires make their way to the umpire room. As a sour taste in the Doubledays' mouth as they were able to work their way back. As this game ends by a final score of 3-2. As the Doubledays drop a tough one. We'll be right back with the totals here on the Doubledays Radio Network. It is the Pioneers 3 and the Doubledays 2. We'll be right back. And here we are back up in the booth here. Final score, tough one as the Doubledays drop this one here inside Dunn Field at Municipal Stadium. The Doubledays lose by a final score of 3-2. Christian Zeely the winner. And unfortunately for Michael Sills, came out of the bullpen pitching really well. Drops the game as the loser, unfortunately. As this one was a really interesting game. Let's take you back to the scoring that got this thing started for the Pioneers. It was all the way back in the 4th inning. It was a quick 2 outs for Jake Dannyluck. And then it was a 3-2 pitch on the inside corner taken for ball 4. Ultimately led to a walk, and then Cooper Smith brought him in with an RBI double. Later on in the 6th inning, it was a double by Ray Hernandez after a leadoff walk by Aiden Blake, and a sacrifice fly by Weston Gingrich put the 2nd run on the board for the Pioneers. And then in the 10th inning, tough one, a sacrifice fly off the bat of Dom Presto. Waves to the Doubledays goodbye as this one ends in a final of 3-2. The Doubledays, they did fight back, though. Hats off to them in the 8th inning. Started with a hit by a pitch to Hal Walker Jr. He was able to get all the way around to score after the Bryce Moore base hit, and then the fielder's choice by James Mason, a wide throw from the returning for Blaze Fadio at short. Sent a wide throw, run came in to score, and then Harrison Campy was able to tie it up on a little parachute single. But that's the only offense for the Doubledays. They couldn't get it done in extra innings. And it closes the book on this one here in Elmira. Doubledays, they dropped the tough one. They fall to 3. Fall to 3-2. Elmira improves to an overall record now of 4-2. So we got a lot of work to do when we get back home tomorrow against Newark. Doubledays looking to get back in the winning groove here, and we'll see you tomorrow. First pitch at 4:05 will be on the air at 3:30. For Trevor Curl up in the booth, we'll see you tomorrow night as the Doubledays lose a tough one